How do I create intake forms? Intake forms are used to record client information as well as obtain client consent. In this video, we will go over how to create intake forms as well as how the client will fill them out. To create a form, go to Utilities and click on Intake Forms. Click Add New. In this guide, we will be adding a general spa intake form for all clients. If you would like to add a logo to your form, click on the Choose File button and select your logo image file. This will upload your logo to the form. The recommended image size is 500 by 500 pixels. Choose a name for your form. This will be what it is labeled as in Encore. We will name our form General Spa Intake Form. Choose a title for the form as well as a caption. This will be what the client sees when they start to fill out the form. We will label our form General Spa Intake Form. If you check off All Clients Must Fill Out Form, the form will be assigned to each client that books an appointment. We will click the Save button. It is a good idea to save as you go to avoid losing any work. If you leave this unchecked, you also have the option to assign the form to specific services to be filled out by clients only when the assigned service is booked. This can be done by going to Services. We will open Services in a new tab to show you where this is. Choose a service and click the Intake Forms tab. You will need to click Add Form and choose your form under each service you want the form to be associated with. We will go back to the form setup screen. You can then choose the frequency that they will be required to fill out the form. The options are only once, every certain number of days, weeks, or months, or after a certain date. If you would like clients to fill out the form each time they book an appointment, choose every 1 day. In this tutorial, we will select only once. If you would like client info included on the printed version of the form, you can check off each area here. If you want clients to be able to review and change their contact information and contact preferences when filling out the form on a computer or mobile device, check off Verify Selected Client Info. We will click the Save button. Next, go to the Questions tab. This is where you will create the questions on the intake form. We will click on the Add Section button to add a section to the form that can have multiple questions within it, similar to a category. We will title the section General Questions. If you plan on printing the form, you will have the option to print each section on a separate page. We will add our first example question. When adding a question type, you have many options to choose from. The options are multiple choice, checkboxes, short answer, long answer, drop-down, rating, date, and consent statement. We will add one of each of these types of questions to show you how they work. Please note that this will not be a definitive guide on all of the questions that should be asked, rather a tutorial on how each type of question will work. Our first question will be a short answer question labeled Emergency Contact, Full Name. If the question is required to be answered by the client, check off Requires an Answer. In this tutorial, all questions will be set to Required. You can also determine whether you want the question to be limited to a certain age group or gender. Next, we will create another short answer question example, called Emergency Contact Phone Number. After that, we will add a drop-down question called Emergency Contact Relationship to the guest. When adding a drop-down question, you will need to create answers for the client to choose. We will add 3 options for the client to choose from: spouse/significant other, family member, or friend. If you want the client to be directed to a question other than the next question on the form, you can set that under Continue to. More options will be available after you add subsequent questions. Setting this to something other than next question will allow you to determine the path they take while filling out the form depending on their answers. You can click and drag to reorder answers. Next, we will add a multiple choice question. In this example, we are asking how the client heard about the business. The answers will be friend/family member, social media, Google search, and advertisement. We will also click Add Other to add an option for customers to select Other and type out an answer. We will now click Save. We will go back to the Questions tab and create another section titled Skincare Questions. The first question we will add under this section will be a checkbox style question asking, do you have any of the following skin conditions? Check all that apply. Checkboxes allow the client to select multiple answers. Our answers will be sensitive skin, acne, eczema, rosacea, scarring, psoriasis, and other. Underneath the choices area, you will need to set how many answers the client can select. For this example, we will set select at least to 0 and select at most to 7. This means that the client will be able to select none if no answers apply to them or all of them if all apply. Next, we will add a long answer question of what are your skin goals? Write a brief description. After adding our long answer question, we will add a rating question asking, how irritated is your skin right now? This rating will go from 1 to 10. The label for the low number, 1, will be not irritated at all, and the high number, 10, will be extremely irritated. This style of question will make more sense once we preview the form. Our next question will be a date style question. The question will be, when was the last time you had a facial treatment of any kind at a salon/spa? We will now save the form. Go back to the Questions tab. Lastly, we will add a section titled Consent Statement. Under this, we will add a new consent statement type of question. This will allow us to paste in our consent statement. We will need to set whether the statement will require initials, printed name, signature, or none. Click Save. We are now done adding the form. If you ever need to deactivate a form, you can use the Deactivate button here. The duplicate button can be used if you'd like to make a copy of a form to quickly create a form that is similar to one you've already created. If we click Preview, we will be taken to what the client will see when they fill out the form. First, we will see the Personal Details screen where clients can update or add their contact information. Next is the General Questions section. We will test filling in all of the fields to make sure they function the way we want them to. Click Next. Now we will view and fill in the Skin Questions section. Lastly will be our Consent Statement section. We will sign here. We are finished going over how the form will look when clients fill it out. The last step to setting up intake forms is deciding how you want clients to fill out the forms. Encore can either email clients their intake forms, or the client can scan a QR code when they are checked in at the business to fill it out on their phone. To email a client their intake forms to fill out, you will need to create an email template with a link to the client's forms and add a marketing event to determine which forms will be sent automatically to clients. Click the I in the upper right-hand corner to learn more about emailing intake forms. To have the client scan their QR code to fill out their form, go to the appointment book. We will book an appointment. A form assignment notification will pop up because we have booked a custom facial and we assigned the form to the service earlier in the video. Check in the client. A window will pop up for them to scan the QR code to fill out their form. We have now finished going over intake forms. Thanks for watching.